So, good morning, everyone. So, we will start shortly. I'm honored to invite the speakers that we have here. So, we are in session 2A. Thank you for choosing this session. Yeah, to attending this session because I believe we will have a lot of insights and new things that we can learn from the presenters. So I'm honored to invite the presenters to come here in the front to join me in here. So Mr. Raja and Mr. Raja as well and Mr. Elvis, yes, please come. Yeah. Okay, so now you have our presenters here in front of you, and then we also have one presenter join us online. Yeah, so again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. This session will focus on merit registration. So my name is Winida Alberta. I am a statistician from Statistics Indonesia. I'm working as statistician for over than 20 years, so that's long. So I'm not alone here. I'm with Beatrix. Beatrix will accompany me to run this session. So this Beatrix from SCAP. So we have four amazing presenters today. And yeah, uh, while birth and death registrations are um, vitals in many researchers, and merit registration tends to be underdeveloped, underexplored. So we are lucky now today we have four presenters that will give us insight from different perspectives and from different countries case studies that will enrich us. So uh, our first speaker will be joined online. So I would like to introduce you to Miss Chanmali Lui. She is a Deputy Director of the Department of Administration at the General Department of Identification, Ministry of Interior, Cambodia. So she works on strengthening CRVS ID systems with a focus on social and behavior change communication to increase civil registration coverage. She has supported SBCC pilot initiative in Ratanakiri and Stung Treng, promoting inclusive access to legal identity for vulnerable populations. Ms. Lui will present on implementing social behavioral change communication for CRVS in Cambodia. And we have our second speaker is Mr. Elvis. Mr. Elvis Jema Kamga. He is a sociologist and demographer working as a research officer at the National Institute of Statistics in Cameroon with expertise in civil registration and vital statistics. His work focuses on key indicators such as mortality rates and birth registration for children under 5, gathered through major nationwide surveys like DHA's, demographic and health surveys, and multiple indicator cluster surveys in Cameroon. Recently, Mr. Elvis has expanded his international knowledge through CRVS technical training workshop organized by Vital Strategies and UNECA in Togo and Kenya. Mr. Elvis will present on uncovering the drivers of marriage under registration in Cameroon. And our third speaker will be Mr. Raja Zulkarnian. Yeah, he's serving as a deputy director in the local government, Pakistan. He is an IT professional with over 25 years of experience. He has worked on CRVS system strengthening for the past 8 years and had led the digitization of birth and death registration and its integration with the national identity management systems. Currently, he is heading reform to digitize marital event registration. And Mr. Raja will present on social, cultural, and institutional determinants of law marriage registration. And lastly, our fourth speaker is Mr. Ulwan Raja Sitorus. We call him also Mr. Raja, yeah? We have two Raja here. So Raja is a statistician with over 10 years of experience at BPS Statistics Indonesia. Actually, he is my colleague. Currently working in the Directorate of Population and Labor Statistics. And since 2022, he has been part of BPS CRVS team, contributing to Indonesia's first vital statistic report and conducting CRVS inequality assessments to support evidence-based population policies and enhancing data quality and system integration effort. Raja will present on bridging the gap in marriage registration in Indonesia, a multi-level analysis of individual and regional level determinant. Doesn't work. Yeah, so before we start, I would like to give you quick notes to help the session run smoothly. So this session is conducted in hybrid. So there are some people who join online, and each speaker will have like about 10 minutes of a presentation. And Beatrix or I will give time reminder like with this paper so that you can be aware that you have several minutes left. And if time allows, we will have 5 minutes for one or two questions for the presenters. And if not, you can save your question and we will have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. And for presenters and participants, please kindly use the microphone when you ask the question so that because we are recording this session. And if needed, I or Beatrix will move with the microphone. We have microphone there, or we have there on the table. And for those who joining online, please type your name and your question in the chat, and we will read it aloud from for the room. And now let's get started with the presentation. Our first presenter, Ms. Louis, has prepared the recording for the presentation. So let's go to the presentation.
His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Loichan Malayan. I am Deputy Director, Department of Administrative, General Department of Identification of Ministry of Interior, Cambodia. Today, I am presenting the study on behalf of His Excellency A. Chandra, Deputy Director General and Director of Department of Civil Registration. I will share findings from a pilot in Cambodia testing whether social and behavior change community, shortcut as BCC, can meaningfully improve birth and death registration. This was not a communication campaign. It is a feasibility test whether behavioral approach can move real administrative outcome. Next slide. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the many people and institutions who made this pilot possible. First, we would like to thank the General Department of Identification and the Ministry of Interior Cambodia for their leadership and collaboration throughout the implementation of this pilot. We also very grateful to the commune official and registrar in all 14 pilot communes, whose commitment and openness made it possible to test this approach in practice. We would especially like to thank the community members who participate in sensitization session and discussion and who share their perspective and experience with us. Our approach also goes to the civil society partner and implementation team who supported community engagement activity in this remote area. Finally, we acknowledge the support of Organization International de la Francophonie who made this pilot possible. As you know, civil registration systems are fundamental to development. They provide legal identity and they generate a population data government rely on the planning service Without registration, people may struggle to access healthcare, education, social protection, or even proof of citizenship. Cambodia has made significant progress, with 18% of children under 5 having registered births nationally. However, if we look at the specific provinces in the picture change, in Stung Tray, birth registration is around 76%, and in Ratanakiri, it dropped to 65%. The registration rates are even lower. So, despite national progress, gap remain, especially in remote provinces. So, if the system already exists, why are some families still not registering birth or death? This slide, we look at the barrier more closely. Many of them are not administrative. They are behavioral and social. Community face challenges such as geographic isolation, limited awareness of the law of CRVS law, language barrier among indigenous groups, and cultural norms, particularly around death and mourning. This means administrative reform alone are not enough. That is where social and behaviors change communication or SBCC become important. As you know that SBCC focus on knowledge, attitude, social norm, and perceived value. It used trusted messenger and community engagement to influence behaviors. So the key question for us was, can SBCC actually improve civil registration outcome in practice? How can SBCC be feasibility implement for the future sustainable scale up? To answer that question, we designed a pilot implementation. The pilot has four main objectives. First, to test the national SBCC message repository and that had been developed by the General Department of Identification. Second, to demonstrate how SBCC could be implemented at community level, working with local authority and civil society. Third, to develop a monitoring tool to understand barrier and enabler to registration. Fourth, to explore how government and society could collaborate more systematically. The pilot took place in 14 communes across four districts in two provinces, Tân Tray and Ratanakiri. These locations were selected because they had lower registration coverage and diverse population. So what exactly did the pilot look like the ground? This slide shows about the pilot was implemented in between February and June 2025. It combines several components. First, the development and testing of communication material. Second, stakeholder mobilization and training to register, commune official, and community leader. Third, community engagement event where people could learn about registration and even register on the spot. In total, 745 community members participated and 116 stakeholders were trained. To access change, we collected baseline and end-line data using an SPCC questionnaire. So after implementation, this activity, what actually changed? The next slide is the result show a clear improvement with birth registration. Across 14 communes, average birth registration rate increased from 67% to 77%. This is a 10 percentage point increase within a short implementation period. However, that registration did not improve, remaining around 45%. This difference tells us something important. Birth registration barrier were largely informational and administrative, but that registration barrier appeared to be deeper and more cultural. This raises another important question. Which communication format were most effectively in delivering this message? Among the material tested, video spot performed best. They achieved 86% visibility and 93% comprehension. Leaflets are performing surprisingly well. People often keep them and use them in practical reference guide. Poster was moderately effective. Meanwhile, brochure performed poorly, likely because long text is difficult in lower literacy settings. Interestingly, the video shared on social media generated nearly 1 million views, showing strong engagement. Beyond communication format, we also wanted to understand what motive or discourage people from registering vital events. This slide is about the barrier shift. For birth registration, the main barrier were limited knowledge of the progress and limited understanding of its value. Encouragingly, concern about the fear or complexity disappear, suggesting the communication have clarified the process. For that registration, the challenge was different. Knowledge did not improve, and apathy increased, meaning many families simply do not see the value of registering that. This suggestion that registration needs a different communication approach, focus on more why it matters, not just how to do it. At the same time, several important enablers emerged. Health workers, village chefs, and civil society actors play important role in promoting registration. Peer influence also increased significantly, suggests that social norm may be shifting. So, what lesson can we take from this pilot? This slide is so that the pilot provides several important lessons. First, the pilot revealed that birth and death registration require different messaging approach. Birth registration improved quickly because barriers were mostly informational. That registration, however, require messaging that address cultural norm and emotional factor. Second, the format of communication matter, visual storytelling format, especially video, performing far better than text-heavy material. Third, the growth of peer-to-peer promotion of civil registration. When civil registration becomes something people talk about it with family, friend, and neighbor, it starts to feel normal and social expected. Fourth, health workers are already interact with family during pregnancy, childbirth, and death reporting. So integrating registration promotion into this interaction could be very effective. Finally, the pilot highlighted the value of collaboration between government and civil society organizations. This partnership can be one, extend outreach to promote communities through society local network. Two, support clear and consistent communication through shared material and capacity building. And three, provide valuable community feedback and CSO often have trust relationship with the community people. So how can this lesson inform national scale up? This slide look at the impact of SBCC and feasibility of scale up. The pilot show encouraging results. But registration increased during the pilot period, while the registration remained more challenging, suggesting that different strategies are needed. Overall, the results suggest that the community-driven SBCC can improve civil registration uptake, especially when messages are culturally appropriate, delivered by trusted messenger, and supported by collaboration between government and civil society. Based on this finding, we propose several recommendations. First, formulate collaborating between civil society and subnational administration. Second, prioritize communication format that work, especially video and simple illustrated leaflet. Third, develop story-based message highlighting the value of the registration. Fourth, integrate CRVS promotion into health service delivery, since health workers already interact with family at the key moment. Finally, expand mobile registration service to reach remote community. Building on this insight, currently TDI is planning to roll out the SBCC strategy in Phnom Penh in partnership with the um, coalition of partnership in democratic development organization we shortcut called CPDD. The collaboration will help establish coordination mechanism between CSO and Phnom Penh capital administration official and support community outreach using approved SBCC material. The rollout will be trending in early 2026, followed by outreach and monitoring activity throughout the year. So to conclude, I would like to return to the bigger. The last slide, as you know that civil registration is often viewed as an administrative process, but in reality, it is about something much deeper. For individual, it is about right, recognition, and belonging. When a birth or death register, a person existing is officially recognized. But civil registration also matter beyond the individual. For government, The strong CRVS system provides the foundation for planning and sustainable socio-economic development. They help ensure that service, policy, and resources reach the people who need them the most. So, the ultimate goal of CRVS system is not only a better data, it is about ensuring that every person is counted, recognized, and included, and that governments have the information they need to build more inclusive and effective society. As we can say in this project, getting everyone in the picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Yeah. From Miss Lou's presentation, even though it's not specifically tell us about merit certification or registration, but we can also grasp that the communication is a good strategy also to reach, to improve the registration. While it is the conventional methods are still like major in our countries, we should move toward the communication strategies by the piloting the strategies on reaching the people into to area in Cambodia testing whether the communication can improve the knowledge of the people and also the community engagement, and this really have a good picture for us also to implement also in regarding the merit registration. So thank you. I know every one of you have something in your mind here that want to be opposed to Miss Louis, but let's keep it until the end of the presentation and she will answer your question. So we have our second presenter. So Mr. Elvis Jema Kamga will present on uncovering the driver of merit under registration in Cameroon. So yeah, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Jeb, participant to this forum. And the honor is mine to present to you the drivers of non-registration of marriage in Cameroon. This is a topic from which we are going to do the evidence from the general population and housing census pilot survey that took place in 2022. That is the fourth population census. So a pilot census took place, and we want to get out the factors that determine the non-registration or the under-registration of marriage certificate in Cameroon. To begin, I want to first give us some acknowledgement. We express our sincere gratitude to the United Nations Economic Commission for organizing the workshop that served as a catalyst for this research, because from that research, we developed a practical exercise following the program, and we are grateful for the platform provided to explore civil registration challenges. A special thanks is also given to the Bureau of Census, who provided this database on which we worked. We also thank Mr. Libite Roger, who was our supervisor, and who was chosen by the UNICA to follow up this work. He is a consultant in this forum. And as an introduction, we are going to, is it working? Okay. We are going to say that complete and systematic service registration is vital for governance, development, and human rights protection. And in Cameroon, we have noticed that marriage registration remains very inadequate in both coverage and completeness. That is, we don't have the total coverage of marriage compared to what exists on the field effectively, despite various forms of efforts and investment from the government. And during the pilot census that we did in 2022, there were questions that were inserted in the questionnaire in order to capture this fact. The importance of this subtopic is that though conducted for methodological purposes, the pilot operation offers a valuable opportunity to assess the census methodology about CRVS issues and to explore individual social, economic, and geographic factors linked to the non-possession of marriage certificate. Our research method we had two ways of analysis. There was a descriptive analysis, which is based on cross tabulations with the test of Q-square, and we have the multivariate analysis on which you had the dependent variable, which is the non-possession of marriage certificate, that we were going to use as the explanatory variable, cross with the background characteristics of individuals that were interviewed. As key findings, we have noticed that the sex of the individual among those in union. I want to specify here that the analysis were done on individual in union and those in marriage. We have in Cameroon 3 unions, and we have those who are married effectively. So all those who are married and also in 3 unions, they were part of were included in the analysis. And we have noticed that among those in union, both formal or free unions, 77% of women among the subpopulation of women and 73% among the subpopulation of men do not have a marriage certificate. We want to say that this is a gender-based analysis. That is, we've analyzed the women among themselves and the men among themselves. So it's a sort of comparative studies between men and women. Other elements of descriptive analysis was that the religion. We have noticed that the non-possession of marriage certificate is highest among Muslims and animists. Animists are people who do not have any religion across both sexes, while Christians, those who say that of the Christian religion, have the lowest but still high rate. About the residents, in Cameroon we have urban residents and rural residents, and the non-possession rates of marriage certificate are highest in rural areas. In both rural and urban areas, women have higher rates than men, respectively 90% against 87% and 64% against 61% for men. Another variable was the level of education. We have noticed that the more the individuals are educated, the highest we find that they have marriage certificate. So non-possession is mostly found among those who are not educated. Now, we also have the current employment. Non-possession rates are highest among farmers, craftsmen, and inactive persons who don't have any job to do in the society. And female farmers and industrial workers and inactive women face the greatest barriers, while professionals and managers have lowest rates of non-possession. Similar trend exists between men and men. Another variable was internal displaced refugees or refugee status. There are no civil status centers in displacement camp in Cameroon. Globally, displaced persons compared to non-displaced ones show the highest non-possession rates of marriage certificate, with women slightly more affected than men. When we move to the multivariate analysis with key findings, here what we stressed upon were the odd ratios and the p-values. And we have noticed that the age group, the residence, the level of education, the current employment, the status of internal displaced person, they all influence the non-possession of marriage certificate, both among men and women. The age, for example, both men, women, and men, young age disfavor civil marriage registration. So the younger ones, they don't have marriage certificate. About residence, we have seen that compared to the urban areas, women in rural areas are nearly twice as likely not to have a marriage certificate. For men, the risk is also higher. About the level of education, higher education reduces this risk by 56%, confirming that the higher level of education, the greater the likelihood of possessing a marriage certificate. Then about the current employment, we see that those who have good professions, they have less risk of not having marriage certificate. The status of the internally displaced person, as we said a while ago, it also influences negatively the possession of marriage certificate. We brought out a point of discussion after all these results. The logistic registration results confirm trends found in existing literature and align with theoretical and empirical expectations, supporting the identified factors linked to non-possession of marriage certificate among persons in union. Findings should be cautiously interpreted because regarding the dependent variable, which may have been misunderstood by some respondents, we said that this is a pilot survey. And during the pilot survey, we are really testing to see whether the people understand, the population understand what the question is looking for. We have noticed that some people might have misunderstood the meaning of having marriage certificate. Reporting bias, we have also noticed reporting bias. So there could be reporting bias as some inferiors might identify themselves as married. So some people, men and women, stay together. You ask them this question, they might say that they have marriage certificate, whereas they have done only customary manifestation of marriage. So there could be bias at this level without distinguishing legal marriage from informal unions. Then this ambiguity could affect the accuracy of the estimates given the self-reported nature of marital status and the lack of clarifications from interviewers, leading some to report customary unions as marriage certificates despite lacking civil registration. And this can happen in any census wherever the country. Having found all this, we have given out some recommendations for data quality purpose. It is recommended that to improve the wording of marital, it is recommended to improve the wording of marital status questions and better train census agents to clarify legal marriage to respondents. If not, they will go on the field and bring back garbage, which are going to bias the results. Such improvement will help distinguish union types more accurately and provide a clear measure of formal marriage in census data, not only in Cameroon, but everywhere in census populations. Operational definitions during interview should be clarified, explicitly separating legal marriage, that is with certificate, from other unions, customary, religious, informal. So these are terms that they must use during the census to collect the information about those specific questions, including a brief explanation of or illustrative frame in the data collection manual could further enhance response accuracy. The pilot census data should be taken not merely as an output from a technical exercise, but as a statistical gold mine that warrants comprehensive processing. So it's not just for piloting that this exercise should be carried out, because there's in-depth, there's substance inside the pilot, and it should be explored more in order to bring out many things that could improve either the census itself or even improve some policies that the government could put in place. So by treating the pilot as a primary source, the institution in countries can transform the capacity built during trainings into tangible research outputs. Leveraging this gold mine will enable the discovery of critical demographic insight, particularly regarding marriage registration, while establishing a robust analytic benchmark for the upcoming national population census. And our national population census is coming this month of April. Other recommendations, which is almost the last, from the findings, it will be beneficial if the administrative authorities increase the number of civil status offices in rural areas, since we have noticed that it is mostly in rural areas and it is among those who are not gone to school for long, those who are not too educated, we have noticed that it is among them that we will find a great rate of non-possession of marriage certificate for those who are in union. And they should increase more, they should give more sensitization to population on the importance of having a marriage certificate in a marriage union. Then the last one is we recommend diverse incentive from the administrative authorities to the population for marriage registration. This can also give a point or give a push for completeness and for the population to go in for registration of marriages. On this note, I want to say that this topic was very important because it was used, it is used to improve the coming census, which we are going to carry out in the month of April. We worked this topic with the colleagues from the Bureau of Census, and they have contributed. They are going to put it into practice while reviewing the tools that we shall use next time. Thank you very much.
Such an interesting presentation. So Mr. Elvis just showed us that using pilot census, even the census has not been done yet, it can be give us a lot of information. And what Mr. Elvis just presenting is about how we also can improve the upcoming census, not only relevant to Cameroon, but also for other countries, regarding how we conduct the census and on how we also put the question there in the questionnaire, right? And before even the census has begun, you already have some assessment of the data so that it may improve how the data collection in the future, and also how the pilot data census also can be a gold mining for give information for decision making regarding marriage certificate or merit registration. Thank you. Give another applause for him. So I will give you opportunity to pose one question if there are any. Or are you still thinking? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you can speak there. Yeah.
Hi, this is Chloe from SGAP. Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation, Elvis. I had a question about one of the findings on one of the first slides, and it was about how women have higher rates of certificate possession than men. So I was wondering how, what the possible reasons for that might be, because I'm assuming that in the census, it's talking about the household, so it would depend on who they have interviewed in the household. Is that perhaps why there's that difference in gender in terms of the certificate possession?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And we said this gender-based study. We have worked on the population of men and the population of women. And in the same database, it is showing that among women, that is when you process the data for women, we notice that 77% of women, among women, do not have marriage certificate. That is when you interview women apart. And when you take men apart, it is 73% of men among the population of men who do not have marriage certificate. That is what the database showed. Now, to give explanation about this, it would take maybe some interview to go back to the field in order to understand why the behavior is as such. But we guess that is the fact. We just give out the fact. And maybe there was some bias. It could be linked to some bias in understanding that we have brought out later on after having given these figures. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's an interesting question actually, but I think that also have to keep in mind because marriage is involved two persons, right? So how could it be different? But maybe it also have something to do with the kind of question that we have and what the perception of the respondents when they are answering the question.
Yes.
Do you think it could possible?
The perception?
Mm-hmm. On translating the terminology of marriage, whether it's registered, civil registered, or cultural marriage, something like that.
It could not be the perception because the question is, do you have, are you married? They ask the question to those who are in union. Do you have marriage certificate? If they find you in union, Do you have a marriage certificate? Maybe it is linked also to the number of women that were interviewed. The number could be higher than those of men. We have to check in the database, but not mostly on the perception, because the question is clear. Do you have marriage certificate? And the people, in one way or the other, they know what marriage certificate is.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. You have another question, but
Yeah, so the thing is, so you asked about the possession of marriage certificate, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So my question is whether which marriage do you mean? So so person can marry more than one time. So right? So there could be a person who already divorced and hesitate to get married again. I mean, they probably have a partner but not registered. So what I'm asking is that when you look at the distributions, you probably want to look into whether it's first, second, or higher order of marriage. Because I mean, I have the same question to Chloe about gender distributions of marriage certificates. So, but I think somehow you probably need to dig down, look at the which marriage is it. I mean, the orders of marriage.
Thank you. I understand your point, but the idea here is that the question is asked to all those who are in union.
Exactly. So that's the current status. That's the current status.
Yes, the current status.
Yeah. So that individual could already divorce, right? And then already in a union, a new union, right?
Yes.
And then so for this one, they are probably not registered. They probably register for marriage for the first marriage. So that's why you see the skew in genders or probably age and others. No, and this is just for robustness check. So you can check it later. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but my question is actually, I mean, so people can, just to aware of, you can have, more than one marriage. So which one are we talking about? All right.
Okay, we'll check.
okay.
Thank you.
So it's becoming more interesting. So if anyone have another question, please keep it, write it down. So we will save it until the end of this presentation. Okay, so thank you so much. Give a round of applause again for Mr. Elvis. Yeah. Yeah, now we have our third speaker, Mr. Raja Zulkarnian. Will present on social, cultural, and institutional determinants of low marriage registration. So the floor is yours. You can use that. Okay, thank you.
Next. Okay. So thank you very much for providing me an opportunity to present my work here. Let's start by thinking that what comes in our mind when we listen the word of civil registration. Definitely the birth and death, because most of the people in the world are working on birth and death registration, but not on marriage and divorce. In CRVS, we are focusing on registering the babies who are coming to this world and the people who are going out of this world, but not thinking about ourselves who are living in this world. We are most important. We should think about ourselves. We should consider that marriage, divorce, separation, and all the marital events are coming before the death, whereas we are jumping directly from birth to death. So think about the marriage, divorce, and other marital events registration for the next 10 minutes, please. Think about yourself also. So, first of all, I am thankful to the UN ICA, UN Escape, and CRVS strategies for providing a marvelous opportunity to present here. And special thanks to the ESCAPE team, Petra, Madam Tanya, Nicholas, Bia, and their team. They provided me a regular guidance and opportunity. Thank you very much. So coming to the importance of marital events registration, that why I have selected this topic for registration is that according to the study of UN Escape, more than 50% marriages in most of the countries are going unregistered, and only 20% of the divorces are getting registered properly. Whereas if I will look for my country, there is 86% gap in registration of marriages and 41% gap in registration of divorces. And in the National Database and Registration Authority, which is National ID Management System in Pakistan, 6.3 million people have registered their children, but they have not registered their marriage, which means that there are 6.3 million people for whom the spouse is unknown. We don't know that this is the father who is the mother of the children, and if it is mother, then who is the father of the children. So marital bondings registration in national database is missing, which definitely is hindering the planning, and we cannot make informed planning. In my study area, which is Azad Jammu and Kashmir, a special area in Pakistan, only 15,000 marriages were registered out of 100,000 plus in last 5 years. So you can say that the registration of marriages, there is a huge gap. And for divorce registration, in the last 5 years, we have registered only 3,000 divorces. How many were occurred? We don't know. So these are the gaps which should be studied, that what are the factors, what are the reasons that we are missing these elements. Then why the marital events registration is important? Why it is important for us? It is important for us to secure or to complete our legal identity, to access the social welfare programs, to ensure our rights, to protect ourselves from social exclusion, from stigma, from you can say legal actions, and many more. So these are basically the marital events registrations are basically the event which will highlight and which will you can say or restrain the child marriages and fraudulent marriages also. And most of the people who are suffering, most of the population who is suffering from non-registration or late registration of marriage events are the women and the children. The children who are registered without a proper wedlock, they face stigma. They face issues in registration of their births. They fail to grab many opportunities in their life. So this is also important for our children and for the marginalized groups. For this study, I implemented a mixed method research approach where the quantitative data provided some descriptive statistics. This data was extracted from publications, from government reports and official statistics of the departments. And it depicts that what is the actual situation right now, what is the picture, how many marriages are getting registered, how many are witnessed, what is the situation of the divorce registration, how many offices are there, what are the facilities available, how many, what are the procedures, how many stakeholders are involved, so and so. And the qualitative data, which has been collected by 40 key informants interviews and 13 FDGs, is actually highlighting the social and cultural barriers. That what are the social and cultural barriers which are restraining the marriage registration, marital events registration. So what are the findings? Just going forward and forward. So what are the findings? You can see here that in my research area, only in 2025, 9,000 marriages have been registered out of 17,000. So there is a 46% gap. This is a picture which is depicting the detail of last 5 years only for marriage registration. And coming to the divorce registration, 58% more divorces are registered than witnessed, not marriages, sorry. Divorces are registered than witnessed. It means in marriage registration, we have witnessed more marriages and registered less. But for divorce registration, we have registered more in civil registration, but less witnessed. So here is the difference on the negative side. So this shows the, you can say, gaps on the part of the religious affairs department, who is also responsible for registration, witnessing of the divorces. So through qualitative data, gathering analysis of qualitative data shows that the administrative barriers which are accounting to the low registration of marriage and divorce events, the legal framework is only 45% complete. It is missing for a number of population segments, particularly for the minorities. Accessibility and inclusion of system is only 38%. Affordability of system is 58%, followed by institutional capacity and gaps, and then process efficiency and user friendliness. So here, the most of the areas where we work, where we need some interventions, that is the completeness of legal framework and to ensure the accessibility of the system. So what are the social and cultural barriers? These were administrative barriers. And what are the social and cultural barriers? There is lack of awareness and knowledge about registration of the marriages. Most of the people think that the religious marriage or the solemnization of marriage or witnessing a marriage is enough and no need to register it. Preference of religious nikah over the proper registration. Then patriarchal norms that most of the time seniors, parents, and elders are responsible for conducting the marriages, divorce events, and register them. Individuals do not bother to register these events properly well in time. So most of the time, people go for registration of marital events with the civil registration system when they need it, when they are going to travel abroad or when they are going to register their get their passport of their children or so and so, then they go for the registration. There are some hidden marriages also which are not coming for registration, illegal marriages, underage marriages are not getting registered properly. Then there are some gaps in the witnessing procedure of marriages, and a fear of additional cost, that this is a tricky process, it's complex process, it costs us too much, not in terms of money, in terms of time also. So we don't need, we will go for registration when it will be required. About the social, about the registration of divorce, the main component is social stigma, particularly for women. And then fear of social exclusion, discrimination, and loss of reputation, particularly for women. Misconception in many communities that verbal or religious divorce is enough, we don't need to register it. Then gender inequality, limited availabilities or limited, you can say, easiness of process for female. Financial obligations, particularly for men, when he divorces someone, then it is his fear that I have to pay some damages or bhak meher or maintenance costs, etc. Then lack of support system and emotional and psychological barriers. These are major social and cultural barriers. Marital events registrations marital event registration remains low due to combination of administrative barriers and socio-cultural norms. By improving only one sector, we cannot improve the marriage registration up to the mark. So weak legal framework, especially for women and for minorities, high cost and poor accessibility is limiting the effective registration. There are a number of institutional gaps, such as staff is not properly trained, procedures are not very clearly defined, use of technology is very limited. So these are also constraints of the system. Then low awareness and knowledge and preference of religious validation over the legal registration is also a major cause of non-registration. And patriarchal norms I have mentioned earlier, informal practices such as hidden marriages and need-based marriages, and then divorce registration is further hindered by stigma, fear, social exclusion, and misconceptions. Financial obligations are also uh, contributing to low registration of marriages. So, what are the key recommendations? The first thing is to the most important and first thing is to complete the legal framework. Legal framework for legal framework to include for inclusiveness of the system for minorities, for ethnic groups, for women, to improve the efficiency of the system, to ensure a legally bind coordination mechanism among multiple stakeholders, to fix the responsibility for registration of marriage, and to incentivize the marriages, timely registration of events, and finally, you can say the final is to impose penalties if the events are not properly registered. Then a reduction of official costs, definitely it will improve the marriage registration and promote the female inclusion, enhance the institutional capacity in terms of trainings, clear procedures, better coordination among stakeholders, and to integrate the religious leaders and put the responsibility on their shoulders to register each and every event timely. So for the next steps, what are recommended? One is to explore the minority focused registration mechanism. Second is to strengthen the data integration between different stakeholders, automatic data integration. And the final is initiate community based interventions for awareness and to reduce stigma around divorce registration. Thank you very much. Think for
Thank you
yourself.
so much. That's really interesting. Yeah. So that's really interesting research. So Mr. Raja go beyond from quantitative research to mixed method research, which give us a lot of information, enrich our knowledge regarding marriage and also divorce registration. And it's surprisingly that more than 6 million people in Pakistan married not registered, yeah, unregistered have not.
But they have registered their children.
Yeah, they register their children despite of their parents' married are unregistered. So what also interesting in Mr. Raja presentation that he highlight the importance of marriage certificates, marriage registration, because it have a lot of meaning from civil rights to the children's rights also. So the finding is very interesting. I see question in your head, in your eyes, but please keep it now. So we should hear the last presenter, and then we are going to for the question and answer. So without further ado, I would like Mr. Raja again. Another Mr. Raja will present his presentation.
Okay, thank you, Kak Winida. As Kak Winida introduced myself, my name is, in short, you can call me Raja, another Raja with the same problems from the another countries. So today I will be presenting my study titled Bridging the Gap in Marriage Registration in Indonesia. In this study, I aim to understand not only who has a marriage certificate, but also why the gap still exists and how individual and regional factors shape those gaps. Before I begin, I would like to say thank you to BPS Statistics Indonesia, ECA, and SCAP, especially for the CARD initiative teams for the valuable support for my research. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forget. Okay, let me start with a simple idea that marriage registration maybe sounds just like a two administrative process, but in reality, it plays a critical role for people's lives. It can ensure legal protection, especially for women and children. It can affect inheritance rights, child protection, and access to services. Globally, this has been recognized as priority. For example, from UN Convention and Consent to Marriage, it clearly states that all marriage should be registered officially. But in reality, the gaps still remain in Indonesia on marriage registration is legally regulated, but the coverage is still incomplete. Based on the data from MOHA, only around 59% of marriage individual that have a marriage certificate. And based on my literature review, they suggest that the barriers for marriage registration is not only depend on socio-demographic factors, but and economic factors, but also contextual factors like access to services and etc. So that things brings me to the motivation to this study, because the most existing studies about marriage registration, especially in Indonesia, mostly using the qualitative method and just limited to the specific regions. I think this is a lack of the quantitative evidence, especially at the national level. So I conduct this study, and I'm trying. This is hard for me to find the research that combine individual and regional factors, especially in studies in Indonesia. For the objectives of my research, the first is to identify the individual and regional level factors that associated with marriage certificate ownership among ever married women age 15 to 54 in Indonesia. And the second is to examine how much the contribution of the variation of the region in Indonesia to influence the marriage certificate ownership. At the end, I hope this study can contribute to support the strengthening of the CRVS in Indonesia and fulfill the goal of the SDGs target number 16.9. Move to the method. I currently use the data to two main data sources. The first one is 2024 Susenas, or we call National Social Economic Survey for the individual variable, and the second one is 2024 PODES, or we call that Village Potential Survey for the regional variable. And for the unit analysis, as I already mentioned at the previous slide, is ever married woman age 15 to 54 years. And the final sample of this study is around 257,000 individuals. And for the analysis approach, I use multi-level binary logistic regression with the dependent variable I use is from the question about merit certificate ownership as a proxy for merit registration, and for the independent variable consists of two level. The first level is individual level, such as urban, rural, education, and etc. And for the two level is the district level, used three indicator. The first one is the existence of the religious affair office at the sub-district level. The second is the percentage of the village with birth certificate program for poor families. And the last is village with the public transportation existence. Okay, move to the result. If we look nationally, look quite high about the coverage, almost 19%. But I make a note with this number because the response to this question still contain ambiguous response from the respondent, because when the enumerator question about the do you have a merit certification, they can respond with yes without show the legal documentation. So this is one of the limitation of my study. And when we look across districts, there are many disparities. Lower coverage, under 8%. We find mostly at the eastern region, and for the highest coverage, mostly we find on the Java Island. For the multi-level analysis result, both individual and regional factors are important. For the individual, higher education, older age, literate woman, internet use, experience of live birth, living in urban areas, and coming from not poor families increases the likelihood of the merit certificate ownership. On the other hand, the working woman decrease the likelihood of the merit certificate ownership. And for the regional levels, only public transportation that not significantly influenced the merit certificate ownership. And for the ICC scores is 18%, that we can say that I can say that the regional context matters to these issues. The findings can be followed by this information. For older women, maybe they are delayed registration until legal age, or maybe they are waiting for the stable condition about their household. And for higher education and literacy, women with higher education and good literacy maybe have a better knowledge and knowing procedure better than the counterparts. And for the internet, also with the internet use, the non-user maybe have a lower experience about information and access barriers. And having children maybe because administrative requirement need about the birth registration need documentation for their parents. And also the service availability of religious affairs office with no existence. So they are maybe cannot go forward to the service accesses because it's not exist at their sub-district level. Now, for working women, actually, when I do exploration and in my research, it's not because working or not working, but if I deep dive, The working woman at my study who has not have a merit certificate concentrated at the lower education level, and most of them is working as informal workers. So maybe this is the why they are not having a merit certificate honors. So for the recommendation, the first I recommend to strengthen the population administrative literacy. The second one, to expand digital registration services. Maybe it help for the region that not exist with the KUA at the sub-district level. The third is improve access and equity of KUA services. The fourth is integrate merit registration with birth registration and social protection systems. And the last is, as the findings said, that to prioritize younger people and vulnerable groups. And for the next step, currently the study is still in development. So I will finalize the paper, especially to strengthen the recommendation part to choose what is the suitable policy to apply it in currently in Indonesia situation. And for the dissemination, I will submitting this paper to academic publication, and for future research. Maybe it can extend analysis, apply multi-level models with additional level. Maybe it can household level or sub-district level if available, and apply mixed method to capture more comprehensive about cultural and normative factors, and if available also can use administrative data. Okay, at the end, I want to say that marriage not only about sharing love each other, but you should prove your love with register your marriage. Thank you.
That's very good closing, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Raja. So, Raja speak about why the gap still exists in the marriage registration in Indonesia, and he also highlighting regarding the barriers of the underprivileged groups in Indonesia using socioeconomic survey data and village potential data available from BPS Statistics Indonesia. And this is a really interesting research. So hope you are able to finish it like in time, because it will be available insight for Indonesian context as well. So we have 5 minutes. You can ask question for each for all the 4 presenters here. We have 1 presenter join online, so maybe Beatrice also can see whether there are questions for the presenter. So now it's time. Is there any question? So is merit registration is mandated in Cameroon? Okay. So maybe Mr. Elvis, you can answer this question. Is merit registration is mandated? Is in Cameroon? Yeah. Yeah. Mandatory. Yeah. Is people should.
No, it's not. People can live in free union. It is possible that people live in free union, but it is according to the Bureau of Civil Status. Those who are in union are encouraged to register their marriage at the civil status. That's the law.
Yeah. The second question from MD Salim Reza, Bangladesh. In many societies, individuals sometimes hesitate to disclose personal or part information due to social stigma, culture sensitivity, or concern about dignity. In the context of CRVS system, this raises an important question. How should we ethnically balance confidentiality and data accuracy? And how can government ensure trust, privacy protection, and responsible use of AI and digital systems while encourage people to share correct information?
This question I would like to address to Mr. Raja. Maybe you can answer this.
The question is that how the government, actually the question is that how the government will protect the information of people. Yeah. Is it right? The actual question is that how the government will protect the information of the people.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, this is the question. So basically, if someone will be in the wedlock and he will not register his marriage properly, he will face a number of problems in his life, and he or she will be deprived from a number of rights. It is actually not the matter of the information, it is a matter of the rights of the people. So if someone will register it with the government, definitely government is protecting the individual's information. It is not accessible to the public. It is individual. It is accessible to the to the government officials in terms of statistics only. Not the personal information is available. So government is already doing this. Government is protecting the information. It is not disclosed to the general public. It is available to available in terms of statistics, or the individuals can visualize or can see their you can say information.
Okay, thank you. So the data and information are used for statistical purpose only.
Statistical.
Yeah. So I think there's clear. It's in Pakistan and also in many other countries. The data are used only for statistical purposes. Okay, great. So I saw a question from there. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, my question goes to second presenter.
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Name and from where?
Okay, I'm Gift Mkwala. I'm from Malawi. Yeah, so my question goes to second presenter. Yeah. Yeah, because on your result you show something like hidden marriages. Hidden marriages. Yeah, hidden marriages.
Early marriage. Hiding.
Hiding marriages.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question goes, I saw a point of underage marriages. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, the legal age marriage is 18 years,
Oh, illegal is 18
and it
years.
has been notified a few months before.
Okay.
Earlier, it was 15 years.
Okay.
So there is a conflict between the religious people and the government. The religious leaders or the religious people of the are of the version that if someone is enough developed and enough, you can say, mature, he or she can be get married before reaching the age of 18. But after a long debate and long discussion, government has now notified the legal age of marriage at the age of 18.
Okay.
So there are, at present, we are facing the issue that there are a number of marriages are under 18, and government has notified the qualifying age as 18. So when people are coming to the registration system, we are facing difficulty to register them because the automatic system is not accepting the early marriages. So it is an issue at the moment which we are trying to resolve it, and we are discussing that how we can resolve it. We should at least allow the marriages to get registered in the system which were at least solemnized or witnessed before the notification of the government. So after that, we will you can say launch the awareness campaign, and we can impose some restrictions for child marriages or early marriages. But yes, the early marriages are there.
Okay. Thank you.
And some people also hide these early marriages. These are early marriages, and there are some forced marriages. There are some forced marriages also, and most of the forced marriages are the early marriages also.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So does it answer your question?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so actually we still have time. Thank you, Tanya, for informing me. So, okay, another question from Maldives over there. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Riaza from Maldives. My question is for Mr. Raja from Pakistan as well. I just want to understand, like, since you showed the difference between the registered marriages and divorces, just to understand better, I want to know how common is divorce in your country. My second question is just out of curiosity. I want to know that you highlighted that the main reason for the low registration was due to social stigma for women. Was there anything that stuck out for men? Is this is something as to reason why men are not registered in divorces in your region? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good question. A marriage, actually, the marital event or marriage is, you can say, moment of joy, a moment of happiness. It is well organized, and all the whole the family and friends and many people are involved in this event. So to get the marriage registration may not be a problem, but still it is a problem because people think that just solemnization of marriage, celebrating the marriage, announcing it publicly is enough. It's not enough. It should be properly registered in the system. It should be properly, you can say, both the bride and groom should be wedlocked in the system to complete the identity, to protect their social rights. So coming to the divorce registration, divorce in our community is sudden. It can happen at 12 o'clock at night, suddenly, without any celebration, without any consultation. And it's not a happy moment. It's the peak of the anger. You can say peak of the disagreement. So when and most of the time in our community in Islam, the divorce is the right of the men, not the women. Women can get separation, and the process of separation is too long. The women or the female should go to the court. Legally speaking, court should take 120 days, but it takes 12 years, not 120 days, up to 12 years to get separation. So it's very difficult. That's why I'm talking that we should, first of all, we should complete the legal framework, because there is no mechanism for solemnization or witnessing the marriage, witnessing the divorce. It is just between two individuals or one or two family members. There is no proper system. So a proper system should be devised. A government representative should witness the, you can say, divorce mechanism. And actually, this is once again a misinterpretation of the religious concept. As per the religious concept, actual what is given in the in Quran and what is given in Sunnah, which is the proper system of the divorce, that is much different from what is in practice in the society. In Islam or in Sunnah, if we follow the procedure, we cannot divorce our partner in a time less than 3 months. At least 3 months is required. But what's happening? Just 2 minutes. So that's why the completion of legal framework is very much necessary. And one thing more, who is most of the 99.9% times, who is victim? The victim is female, because male have an opportunity to have multiple marriages at the same time. He can go for another marriage before divorcing. He can go for 4 marriages, but female cannot remarry until or unless he will go for registration. So that's why completion of legal framework, including the laws, rules, regulations, procedures, forms, and formats, is very much necessary. Hope I answered the question.
That's interesting. Yeah, because there are gaps in religious regulation law and the civil law. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really good input. So okay, another question from Chloe. Yeah, Chloe. Yeah.
The questions from anybody else in the room? I don't want to take up space. No, thank you very much to all the panelists. I'm really happy that this session happened, and there's not enough research on marriage registration, so it's really great that this happened. So my question is also to our second speaker, Mr. Rajab from Pakistan, and it's about so my understanding of the marriage registration process in Pakistan is that there's two elements to that. So there's the first part, which is is it called the nikah nama, which is the actual marriage contract, and then the religious leader who facilitates that ceremony, then it's their role to inform the union council of the marriage, and that's when the actual registration happens. But I was wondering, is it formalized that the person who does the nikah nama, do they have to inform it to the union council, or are there cases where it doesn't get informed to the union council and it just remains as a marriage contract, not a registration, if that makes sense?
Thank you. Another good question. To understand the system in Pakistan, basically there are two parts. One is the celebration of the marriage, or what you said, nikah nama or marriage contract. 90% times the marriage contract is signed in the presence of some religious leader and some in at least four witnesses before or on the day of the marriage celebration. So in the marriage contract, which has been solemnized or which has been witnessed by nikah or the religious leader, that is one thing, and registration it with the national ID management system or national CRVS system is another thing. So logically speaking, if a marriage contract is done, it is solemnized and it is witnessed by the nikah or the government official who is witnessing the marriage, it should be his responsibility to register this marriage with the civil registration system. But what is practically happening, he is not responsible. It is the responsibility of individuals at the time to get the marriage registered with civil registration system, which is an other process. It should not happen. That's why my last recommendation was to put the recommendation on the shoulders of religious leader or the nikah to get registered each and every marriage in the civil registration system. This is the gap. Is it clear now?
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
clear now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, wow, there are still some burdening questions. So, Miss, you first.
So thank you all presenters for this nice conversation, and it's really a happy moment. So you are talking about marriage also for a divorce also, but really nice. I was asking two questions. First, Pakistani Raja, actually. We are sharing actually the same culture. I'm Ismat from Bangladesh. So almost same culture from you to us. Is there any, you have told about timely registration, but is there any time to register the marriage? I mean, any mandatory time for which we can register the marriage, like 15 days or 45 days or something like it? Thank you.
Actually, it is different in different areas, even in different provinces. In my province, the registration or the entry of marriage with religious affairs department is 30 days. But in civil registration system, right now, there is no time, no limit. So that's why I recommended that we should define the procedures, and we should announce some incentives and penalties also for late registrations. That is the reason.
Thanks. And there is another question. If anyone try to get the divorce registration, then should he or she register the marriage first, or there is no connection between the marriage registration or divorce registration?
In the rest, in the other provinces of Pakistan, in every province there is the divorce procedure is slightly different. But in my province, in my area, there was no mechanism. Absolutely no mechanism.
No connection.
Absolutely no mechanism. It was just religious, just to say two words. That's all. From 2018, when I started on working on civil registration system, I started speaking about this thing that there is no mechanism. We should devise it. We should devise it. Ultimately, I remained successful in 2022 to get the rules notified for the religious affairs department. That these are very, you can say, basic level rules. But now at least we can say that we have some procedure. Before that, we were not having that. So still it is on the part of religious affairs department, but it is not complete and up to the mark. It should be properly defined. And as there is a mechanism for witnessing each and every marriage in the community, there should be a mechanism to solemnize or to witness each and every divorce if it is happening in the community. And on the other part, if the matter is going to the courts, then courts are not linked to this system till now. The integration, I mentioned that there should be integration. So this is integration, this is required. So I have mentioned very few recommendations here. There are so many details. I was discussing with Tanya last day that there are too many recommendations. I cannot present all these things in one paper. So
So thanks for
Thank you.
that. You must be think of that. And I have another question for Indonesian Raja. So you have said you have collected data from 15 years to 49 years of women. So is your legal age of marriage is 15 years in your country?
Actually, for the legal age for marriage in Indonesia currently is 19 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there is a gap for 4 years. How you can explain that? That
Yeah.
you ask them for if they have certificates or not, but they are not legal, so they will hide it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So that's why the survey also collected the under the 19 years age because we want to find the early marriage cases. So why the unit analysis is 15 to 54 because the first one is I got inspired by my literature review actually from Nepal. They used the unit of analysis, and for the actually I want to use for the beginning I use 10 to 54 actually, but when I consulted with my director, since because the observation of the under 15 is small, it will give impact for my results. So I take out the 10 to the 14, just use starting from the 15. And when the survey held, maybe it makes some not comfortable for the respondent when the enumerator asking for that. So the response that we collected is just based on their response to the enumerator. If they said that yes, we are living together without no legal documentation, so the enumerator will choose the match the option of the answer of the question. Thank you.
So, and you said that Western part is more likely to
Higher.
higher.
Yeah.
Western.
80% yeah.
Yeah,
They register more. Why?
yeah. Because like I said before, maybe the factors not only depend on the individual, but also the regional factors. Because in the Eastern, there is a disparities about the facilities than the Western area in Indonesia.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's also happened with the birth and the death also.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we have one more question from B, please.
I have a question for Miss Liu online, if she's able to answer. I'm not sure if you'll come
Okay,
over.
is it possible to have Miss Lu online?
Yes, she's unmuted.
Okay, great.
And my question for you is if you can describe the video that you used a little bit, because you mentioned it did have quite a large impact on registration. So can you just talk a little bit more about what the video was? Was it both birth and death registration? Was it only shared on social media and so on? Thank you.
Yeah. Is there any speaker over there?
I see her online.
Yeah.
I do have her unmute. Well, I also had a second question for Raja from Indonesia, also related to the map that you were showing. Overall, the eastern provinces had lower marriage registration, but you can see on Papua that there are some places that have really high registration. Can you speak to why you think you might be seeing the high registration in some areas and not in others?
Yes. Yes, I will answer the question. For there are some district at the eastern area that have high coverage because I think for the blue one below, it's Jayapura city. It's not the slum area. It's Merauke. Merauke is also municipality, right? Yeah. They are have better service accesses than the three districts like Tolikara, Yahukimo, and Dogiai. Geographically, Tolikara, Yahukimo, and Dogiai is hard to reach by people. Me personally, will thinking twice to go to the district because it's really hard to access. So, is that meet your expectation?
No, that was really good because I think that perhaps there could be some like lessons to be learned between the districts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raja.
Thank you for the question. Good question.
So we are. So Miss Lu, can you answer the question? So while waiting, yeah, Beatrix will work on that. While waiting, I have question for Mr. Elvis and Mr. Indonesian Raja, because Pakistani Raja talk about a lot about regulation and religious and also in civil society. There are gaps there. So what I'm asking is whether in Cameroon and Indonesia, the legal framework for marriage and divorce registration is already sufficient in your point of view.
Thank you for the question. In Cameroon, marriage is permitted for boys at 18. And for girls, I think it's 15.
15.
I think, yes. I'll check the the age limit. And the legal framework. We think we have a legal framework which permits people to get married. And but it is not mandatory for people to go and register. Nevertheless, the Bureau of Civil Registration, the office that takes care of civil registration, endeavors to get or to put in place policies that encourage those who are in free union to go and get married effectively. We have in our society, in our localities, in some localities of our country, what we call marriage in series. That is the council or the officers of the civil status. They go to communities and organize or encourage people in free union. They go to the court and get married in large groups. It's just to encourage coverage and completeness of civil status registration. So as marriage is concerned, that is what I can say about the question.
So, in your opinion, do you think it will be like important for the government to mandate to make it mandatory for people to register their marriage? Even though it's okay not to register.
Thank you very much for the question. I think it will be mandatory. If it will be good if the government obliges the population or those who want to be in union to get married. It will help improving the state of the civil status registration in Cameroon, because just allowing people to stay without being registered, without being counted, it doesn't help for development. So the government has to put in place something that can encourage or that can compel those who want to get married. It also implies incentives. The government should also put in place things that will encourage the population, those who want to get married easily. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I just checked. Is Miss Lu can be speaking now before? Okay, so Raja, you can answer the question.
Yeah, thank you, Kawinida. Based on my study to the regulation in Indonesia, for the marriage registration is mandatory and is regulated by a law number I forget, but at the law is clearly states that marriage registration is mandatory to register in Indonesia. But in reality, human just being human. If there is no incentive about that, they are not have interest to register. But when it meets their needs, they go forward. But that it's not. Yeah, maybe the other countries have the same problem. And actually in Indonesia, the related ministries regarding the marriage registration mainly is two actors. The first one is MOHA for the non-Muslim peoples, and for the Muslim peoples conducted under Ministry of Religion Affairs. So I already set another challenge for Indonesia because the database of the marriage registration in administrative data still separate. Challenges for us to make it integrated. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
There are still so many limitations despite of the law already there. Yeah. Okay. Is Miss Lu can speak now? Miss Lu? Okay, so I think we can. I think we have the email of Miss Lu. So if any other question you want to ask, you can send email. So as we conclude this session. I would like to thank all our presenters for their insightful and thought-provoking contribution, and all of you guys here and online for active participation in this session. So marriage registration, an essential yet often under-discussed. While birth and death registration tends to receive more attention, marriage registration and divorce registrations play a critical role in establishing legal rights. The path to universal registration requires moving beyond administrative reform to social transformation in how communities understand and value legal identity. Today's discussion has highlighted both the challenges and opportunities in improving marriage registration and divorce registration, from social cultural factors to institutional and policy responses. I hope this session has provided useful insight and inspiration for our continued work in strengthening CRVS system. So please give applause to our presenter today. So I hope this session has provided useful insight for you all, and we encourage you to connect with all the presenters here. While you are here, we are happy that we are facilitated to see them and connect with them. And please make a valuable opportunity here. And thank you once again, and enjoy of the rest of the forum. Can we have picture with the presenter? Ah, thank you so much.